One guaranteed way to make more money is to improve your processes. If it currently takes you 10 minutes to list one item, if you can increase that to 10 minutes to list 3 items, you're going to make more money. What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. Time is money. And over the past year, I have worked very hard on improving my processes so that I can spend less time and make more money. I've decreased my hours to under 20 hours, including social media, and making $10,000 a month. So in this 3-part series, I'm going to show you guys how the process is behind Sarah Styles in hopes that I can give you guys a couple tips and ways to improve your processes and make more money. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to photograph, measure, skew, weight, and put an item away in 2 minutes or less. And then do make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you guys can see part 2 is going to be about listing and using a virtual assistant, showing you step by step on all of these processes. And then part 3 is going to be about shipping, how I can ship an item in under 2 minutes per item. So let's jump right into it. All right, I'm going to start with 5 tips that I have to really help you guys hone down and improve your processes. And then I will go through step by step and show you exactly what I do, and one bonus tip at the end on how I have perfected my processes. All right, tip number 1 is going to be niche down. And I say that because it makes processes so much easier. It makes, if you are taking photos of all of the same items, you have the setup ready, you have the lighting ready, and then when you go to list it, you already, if you're listing jeans, it's going to be significantly easier. You can maybe create templates or even just know it's much easier. Like, you already know them. You're not spending a lot of time of researching. If you're continuing to do a bunch of one-offs, you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but your processes are not going to be as quick. And you guys can reference this video up here about different ways to make money reselling, and having one-offs and higher average sale price items is a way to do it, but it is going to make your processes much harder. So definitely that's something that I did in this past month or past year. I've always been niched down into women's. I really focus on my data and what is working for me. And in this chart here, you can see my top categories. I pay attention to my top categories, and I specifically source these categories so that I am as niched down in items that are going to sell for me. I didn't choose niches. I didn't choose categories that aren't selling. I look at my data, and that's where I go at a thrift store. And this kind of feeds into the rest of my tips as well, is once you kind of have a niche, it makes the rest of the processes much easier, right? Tip number 2 is going to be like your items together. So you can see behind me, this is all my stuff that needs to be listed. This is thrift store stuff right here. So this is probably 3 thrift store trips over the course of a couple weeks. And I don't come home and list everything at the same time. I come home and I will set all the shoes together. I will set all the jeans together. I will set all, and then after a couple trips and I have a large amount of them, I will then go through and clean all the shoes. If I have all of my stuff set up, I have all of my cleaning stuff set up, and I sit down and I just knock it out, it may sound like seconds, guys, but seconds turn into minutes, minutes turn into hours, and that is a lot of time spent, right? So even if you can just knock off 30 seconds on each process, that is going to save you a lot of time in the long run. Batch work. So I know this is hard depending on your schedule. Any tips that work for you down below too, because I know I am not, what works for me isn't going to work for everybody. I love to hear your tips and have conversations with each other on things work. But it takes time to set things up. And even though I have my own space and I don't have to set up as much, once you get into the rhythm of something as well too, you kind of just get into the flow of it and you can move much quicker. If you can find a place to have your own setup, you're shaving minutes off of taking your items out, getting everything set up, making your lighting, and doing all of that. And it may not sound like a lot, but guys, 10 minutes, let's say it takes you 10 minutes to set up, 10 minutes, you do it 3 times a week, that's 30 minutes wasted. Find ways to make your setup more efficient, whether you can have it set up all the time or maybe a pseudo setup to where it takes you less time to set up every time that you do. And then when you are ready to take photos, something that I do before is have all my items prepped. And when I am ready to take photos, I'm ready to take photos. Everything is cleaned. If I were to steam things, which I don't, if I were to steam things, all of the prep work that you do that together. So when you are ready to take photos, you can just take photos. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so now I'm going to show you my setup, and I apologize, this is my real life. So it's not all pretty, but this is how I actually take photos. All right, so this is where I take my photos, and then if you come over here, and this is how I do it, I'll show you guys the process in a minute. This is where I put the SKU on and put the item away. I will show you the whole process in a minute, but I wanted to kind of talk you through my setup. So up here you can see I have 2 curtain rods. So I do not have an expensive setup. All right, so you can see here there's 2 paper rolls, a white one and a black one. I get these on Amazon, and links for everything that I use is down below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you can't have this set up all the time, you don't have white backgrounds, you can see that I do not have white backgrounds. I did not want to paint my whole entire office, so I just use a paper roll. And when I'm not using it, I just roll the paper roll up. This desk, this is something I did pay up for because I do have back issues. You can see it is, see that? It is a sit to stand desk. So this has been so helpful to me. And then these are just basic photograph lights that my brother had from his old photography business like 20 years ago with a natural light bulb, which is like $5 on Amazon. I am fortunate, you guys can see over here, this is a full window, so that is a helpful when it is nice out. I do get a lot of natural light, which is helpful as well. Everything gets weighed. So that is a food scale that I had at my house. I think you can buy a food scale for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 bucks probably. And then you can see there is SKUs, every single, here we go, there is SKUs, every single item gets a unique SKU number. And then I have different size poly mailers to protect my items in storage as well as when they get shipped out. And then you can see here is my bin. So everything gets a SKU, gets a weight, and then gets put away right away in a bin with the SKU on it in sequential order. All right, guys, I hope that didn't make you too dizzy. My setup, I'm going to show you a quick TikTok that I did on how I actually go through and take photos. Bonus tip, if you guys like learning how to make money reselling, do make sure to hit that subscribe, like, and save this video, share it with others. All right, bonus tip, this is guaranteed to work for every single person who is watching this video. Time your process, time it 5 to 10 times to kind of get an average. I have children, so this is my process with my children. But it's going to alter. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer because a child needs help. So do it 5 to 10 times and then make a small improvement. Take one of the tips that I did and say, hey, I can make this improvement, and then time yourself again and see if it actually made it faster. And you're gonna, even if it's seconds, guys, seconds turn into minutes, turn into hours. So seconds shaved off of every single process is a huge win. If you like content like this, YouTube also thinks that your guys are going to like this video. I will link another playlist here as well. And then make sure to subscribe so you guys can see part 2 and part 3 about listing and using a virtual assistant, as well as shipping in under 2 minutes.